Hello, and welcome back to the Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Joanna Kleinman, licensed psychotherapist, best-selling author of the book Dethroning Your Inner Critic, the 4-Step Journey from Self-Doubt to Self-Empowerment, host of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic podcast, international speaker, and creator of the Mind Method and the Mastering Your Mind program. So, this is where I believe most therapists and coaches miss the mark. So most people believe that they should be able to completely eliminate their thoughts of doubt and lack of confidence and inadequacy and all of their fear about how their future was going to go. And most people think that there is a right solution. And once they find this right solution, that's when they're going to feel happy all of the time. Or they keep spinning in their past. And it is their past that is blocking them from being able to experience themselves and their lives the way that they want to right now. So most people think that there is something out there is some solution. And once they figure out how to create the life that will be the solution, that's going to give them the feeling that they want. Now, many people do achieve everything that they thought would give them that feeling that they're longing to feel of bliss or happiness or contentment or peace. And interestingly enough, once they achieve that very thing, that's when their life falls apart the most. Now, why is this? Well, because when your nervous system gets triggered into fear, there's a loop of automatic thoughts that are already connected to your nervous system. Okay. Now, these are actually old wounds from your childhood. We could say they're old psychological wounds. And every human being has these wounds. This is the design of being a human being. So every single one of us has unresolved childhood issues that are stuck in our mind, in our body, and in our nervous system. And most people don't know that it is these unresolved wounds that are the source of our stress and overwhelm and dissatisfaction and unhappiness and unrest. Okay. So most people seek out a coach or a therapist to fix what they perceive to be the problem. In other words, the problem's out there. Okay. So they have the idea, once my business reaches a particular level, once I'm making the money, once I write the book, once I'm in the relationship, that's when I'll finally feel the way that I want to feel. Okay. So they only think that they know what the problem is. So the real issue here is that when you're doing that, you're trying to use your automatic mind to change your life. But our automatic mind is deeply stored in our brain and in our body and in our nervous system. So we have people and situations that trigger our automatic mind all the time, sometimes on a daily basis. But we think that the problem that needs fixing is the trigger. It's not. So when you're going for your biggest dreams, that automatic mind, that's the mind that I call your inner critic, it's going to go berserk. It's going to take you down the familiar what if tunnel. What if my new business doesn't succeed? What if I'm alone forever? What if I never make the money that I want? What if I take action and I fail? What if people judge me or criticize me? So this is where it's crucial to understand how to distinguish the difference between your inner critic mind and who you truly are, which is your authentic self. And most people have never even met their authentic self because their life has primarily been governed by their inner critic mind. So to identify all of those same familiar thoughts and beliefs that have been with you since childhood is really the key. You have to see the beliefs, see the thoughts, see the familiar emotions and body sensations and behaviors that are clear indicators that you've been hijacked by your automatic inner critic mind. So maybe for you, it's that you just want to avoid everything and just binge watch mindless TV. Or maybe you want to eat endless amounts of chocolate. Or you might be experiencing chronic backaches or headaches, or frequently sad or frustrated or angry or confused or feeling stuck. Now, it is not getting that solution or getting that circumstance to change that's going to have that go away, because your automatic mind is never going to leave you. And it's never going to stop saying the same things that it said since you were a little child. So instead of trying to get rid of the discomfort, it's imperative that you see your childhood self, your little 7-year-old self, believing, I'm not worthy enough. I'm not worthy enough for my dad to love me. So I have to find my sense of self-love and value and worthiness from people or from circumstances. Now, you might not realize that's what's going on underneath there. So you keep thinking that your success or making an impact with your clients or how much money you make or how your body looks or how many people are interested in the value that you provide for them, or how your kids' lives are going. You might think those are the things that you need in order to feel the way that you want to feel. But I'm here to tell you that that's not accurate. So if you keep trying to wait until you feel ready in your mind, you feel settled in your mind, you're never going to reach your greatest potential for yourself and for your life. Because feeling good and feeling certain and feeling comfortable is not the goal. The goal is to understand how to practice on a daily basis, unhooking yourself from your automatic inner critic's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which is going to show up all over the place and louder than ever when you're taking steps towards your most abundant and inspired life. Now, knowing that you're separate from your inner critic and knowing what your inner critic really is, that's the very thing that can change your life. That's very different from finding strategies to cope with your thoughts and your feelings and your beliefs and your behaviors, or trying to make them disappear. And that's very common. People are either finding ways of coping with this or thinking that they can figure out how to make all of that disappear. And that's not the answer. So when you're up-leveling your life, you are going to get stuck in the vicious cycle of the same thoughts, the same beliefs, the same uncomfortable emotions over and over and over. Because guess what? If you're on the journey to up-leveling your life, once you reach your goal, there'll be the next goal right after it that will create the vicious cycle all over again. That's our inner critic. So your upset, your unrest, your unease, your edginess, I lived with that for my whole life. It stopped me for a long time in my life. I tried to make it go away, or I tried to stop it for decades. And I was convinced that as soon as I reached my goals, it would go away. But it hasn't gone away. And that's for you too. So the only way to change your life is that when you can really understand how to access your deeply stored pain in your subconscious mind and in your body, and see it so clearly that you know the difference between it and you, that's when you're free. See, for most of our lives, living with our automatic inner critic mind becomes transparent and normal. So if you're waiting until it goes away so that you can then live the life you want and make your dreams a reality, that's when you're stuck. And most people stay stuck for their whole lives. And then they get to the end of their lives and they regret the fact that they never went for their dreams. Or if they did go for their dreams, they were suffering the whole way. So I created a methodology that I call the mind method. The end step is neutralize the never-ending message. This is the most critical piece that's missing with most traditional therapy and coaching. Because until you see the beliefs that you invented as a child and you've mistaken for the truth for your whole life, you're going to continue to get triggered into the same never-ending patterns of thoughts and beliefs and emotions and behaviors. And there's not a human being alive that escapes this vicious cycle. Because when children first experience criticism, neglect, abandonment, whether that's perceived or real, they blame themselves. So we get into the habit of judging other people or blaming ourselves or shaming ourselves. And as children, we're powerless. So the only place that we can turn to figure out how to get rid of this pain is our mind. That's where our inner critic is born. That's where your inner critic first says, you need to be perfect to make this pain go away, or you need to be the smart one, or you need to be the funny one, or you need to avoid risk altogether. So this is why we tend to get into patterns of overthinking everything because we're trained as children. We don't even realize it. We're trained to go into our automatic mind to try to solve our pain and what we perceive as our problems. And this is how overthinking becomes a habit, and it's exhausting and it becomes chronic and it drives you to succeed. Right? Overthinking has probably driven you to your success so far because we're really good at going into our heads. So if you learn to think you need to rely on your mind to create your life, that's not accurate. Okay? But you might have learned that trying to figure out how to find the right solution so your life goes according to the perfect plan is the right way to live your life. The problem is that even if you're trying to quiet your mind, meditation, I love meditation, but meditation does not address your childhood pain. Journaling won't help if what you're journaling you believe to be the truth. Goal setting will get you to your goal, but you'll probably feel drained and exhausted trying to get there. And then you'll get there, but that goal won't be the answer. So this is the most crucial thing that most therapists and coaches get wrong. The childhood belief will continue to show up over and over and over. So believing that you're going to fix it or get rid of it is a setup for more unease and dissatisfaction and stress and overwhelm, because they are stored as well-worn neural pathways in your brain. And when it's triggered, it feels like it's happening now. You believe your anxiety now is caused by that big goal that you want to accomplish. It's not. It's some deeper fear, maybe a fear of rejection or imperfection, or, oh my gosh, maybe my colleagues will think I'm not as good as I need to be. So if I can make sure that everyone thinks of me the way that I want them to, if I can make sure I succeed the way I'm supposed to, if I can make the money now, if I can get the relationship now, if I can feel needed and important and valued, that's the solution. Never is it about the circumstances in front of you. So meditation and breathing and journaling, I love these practices, but they're going to help you cope with your pain. They're not going to help you actually address that child that still lives inside of you. You have to go inside yourself and meet your inner critic. And that's when you can actually tell your inner critic, you know what? I'm whole. I'm okay with my imperfections. I actually don't need the validation and love and acceptance and approval from anyone except me, because I'm a grown woman now. So interrupting the repetitive cycle that has you go back to being that little girl or that little boy, because you are a beautiful, lovable adult now. It's no longer appropriate to have those same thoughts and beliefs that you once had, but they're so buried in your unconscious mind, you don't even see them anymore. So your beliefs and thoughts are ready to change. That belief that you're not enough, that belief that you're not worthy, that belief that you don't yet have what it takes, or you don't deserve the success that's waiting for you. And therefore you need to fight to be enough. That's no longer a fit for you. It once felt true. So this is a conscious practice of letting go of looking outside yourself. This is an inside job. And the most successful and happy people in the world are the only ones who understand that they only need approval from one person, and that's themselves. So most things out there help you cope, but they don't actually change your neurochemistry and your energy inside your body. So understanding the root cause is really the only way to change your neurochemistry, because your inner critic will always look for external validation. It's addicted to it. It wants more and more of it. Your biggest relationship is the one you have with yourself. So the only way to return to your natural state of peace and joy and love is going inside. You have to clearly see your conditioned inner critic to be able to change your life. So choosing to be the conscious observer of your automatic mind, because that's not you. Now, your life follows your emotions. It's not the other way around. Your emotions are not caused by your life. Your life is caused by your emotions. And most people think that their emotions follow their life. Your automatic mind is the only one that's creating your emotions of fear and doubt and scarcity. Conscious mind is in the present. So if you know how to train your mind to focus on what you already love, what brings you joy, what you're grateful for, those are the emotions that will give you a different life. If you're trying to fix your emotions by fixing your circumstances, you're doing it backwards. But you're habitually conditioned this way. Changing your neurochemistry starts from the inside. So are you willing to let go of the way you've been trying to find your most inspired and abundant life? Are you willing to do the work to let go and unhook yourself from the pain and suffering in favor of your joy and happiness and peace of mind? If you're interested in understanding more about your inner critic mind, go to innercriticassessment.com. You can take my free inner critic assessment that's going to show you which of the 5 inner critics are most ruling your mind, and the automatic thoughts that each one of these inner critic creates, the ways you have rationalized these thoughts for your whole life, and the impact that these automatic thoughts are having on you, your business, your finances, and the most important people in your life. So go to innercriticassessment.com to take my free assessment. And thanks for watching.